on his own. Well, this is a perfect segue for us to talk about WWE TV and the road to Crown Jewel. We're starting to do this as a standalone segment for those of you who love wrestling but don't necessarily play the mobile game that we're involved with. So let's take a look at that card. First of all, Lee, on the pre-show, on the kickoff show, there's a match, which there has not been in many, 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 many PLEs, but we are going to see
Clash at the Castle in England.
Wow, that's insane. So we're going to see Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough in the kickoff match. What's your pick? Pick a prediction.
Well, I think it's going towards an upset where the Judgment Day are finally going to welcome JD McDonough in, and they're going to screw over Sami, which is then going to further that storyline, possibly on the main card where he messes with them later. But can I just say one thing about JD McDonough?
Yeah.
The only thing, because he's an interesting looking dude, right? He's got a
look
big
about peanut him. Head.
And I can't see that man without thinking of the original Super Mario Brothers theme. JD McDonough.
Like
the Bowser's Castle.
I think he looks like the love child of Mr. Peanut and Teen Wolf.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of a werewolf haircut, peanut head. Yeah, it's hard to take him serious.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're going for. He's the Disco Inferno of the Wolfpack, is what he is. That's what his role is. When Disco Inferno was welcomed onto the Wolfpack, and he was the joke character that they ran out to be cannon fodder, and then the big boys came out and played. But anyway, yeah, JD McDonough is going to win. They're going to further the Sami's storyline that's been going on for 17 years against the Judgment Day, and then Sami's going to come out maybe during Rhea's match and cost her the title or something like that.
You realize last year Sami Zayn got the biggest pop over anyone at Crown Jewel. He wore out the traditional Saudi robe. He spoke in Arabic. He did a promo. I mean, it was like top of the mountain, Sami Zayn. And now he's in the pre-show. He's in the pre-show. What in the world? How the mighty have fallen. And I know. He's French Canadian. So he probably made some backroom deal with the mob, and they demoted him now. So who's going? I mean, Sami's going over big time, right? I mean,
I honestly think JD's going to win. I do.
I could see that based on the evolution of the storyline that you described.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to hand Sami a loss in front of that Saudi Arabian audience that loves him. I just, what kind of start to the show? It'll be a shock.
Right.
Maybe that's what they're going for. Next up on the card. Now I'm just reading off the matches the way WWE.com has them listed. We don't know that this is necessarily going to be the order of the card. Yeah. But it looks like WWE Women's Champion Io Sky defending against challenger Bianca Belair.
Oh, gosh, I hope it's Io. I know Bianca is winning back some people, but like her run as the unbeatable superhero was kind of wearing thin. And Io just has not been presented as a credible champion yet. And she so could be. She is incredible. So
she's like the female Ricochet, like really impressive spots, really thin personality.
At least as they've used it. Yeah. So Bayley, I hope Io wins.
Is this going to be, could there be a possibility that this is where Bayley and Io part ways?
Very possibly, but I mean, if Bianca ends up with the belt and then it's just Bayley versus Io for no good reason, that storyline doesn't make sense to me. Right. If Bayley like maybe causes Io to win and she retains, and then Bayley turns on her and is like, "I'm the reason you're champion, and now I'm going to be, I'm going to take you down." That's an interesting story, but Bianca's not needed for it. She just happens to be there. And I don't know that they're going to go that way with Bianca because she's so popular. The other side of it is maybe Bianca finally turns heel somehow and joins the Hurt Business 2.0. That I could see, and I'd be happy with
I would
that.
love it. I can't see them giving Io a clean pin on Bianca. That doesn't make sense as far as the level, almost protected superstar that they've made Bianca. And I think they have big plans for Bianca. I think she's going to go on to do something, maybe WrestleMania versus Rhea. I don't know, but it's like, this match doesn't make sense to me. This match doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. Although they did, Io won the belt from Bianca. Remember, Bianca did the Superman spot, and then she cashed in and smacked her right there and won it. So I'm guessing heel turn for Bianca or a split turn for Bailey.
Is this the rubber match? I don't know which one. Is this the bounce back, the retribution, Bianca? I'm going to pick Bianca going over clean, and
I think so too.
And then maybe Bailey jumping her and starting a new feud.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next up, we got the greatest. What do they call him now? The greatest of all time, John Cena. The greatest of all time versus Solo Sikoa.
I thought you were going to say we were going to have the greatest wrestling match ever. Do you remember during the pandemic, during Backlash, they had Edge versus Randy Orton, and they billed it as the greatest wrestling match ever?
What a shame.
That was crap.
What a shame.
It's terrible.
Well, we got Cena, who's touting his loss. He hasn't had a singles win in like 5,000 days or whatever he's been saying. Right. Coming up against Solo, who seemed very protected, the enforcer, the untouchable. How does this thing end?
I don't think Cena gets too much of a showing here because, one, he's trying to play safe because the writer's strike is nearing its end. The writer's strike's over. The actor's strike is nearing its end, allegedly. And he's already said as soon as it's over, he has to go back to Hollywood because, quote unquote, all these movies that he's in, like if he's not there, lots of people are losing money. So if he were to do a super competitive match and get hurt, that, there's precedent for that. The Rock had that happen and had to delay the Hercules movie. So I think Cena's playing it. This might be a squash match. Solo might come out and just destroy John Cena. And it just is like, here you go. Is this your king? Is this your champion?
I think you're right. And I think it's going to be a setup for the card later that night. I think LA Knight might have to come and carry his limp body out of the ring somehow. I think it's going to build towards LA Knight Roman, but I think that's why this is on the card, to make the bloodline look even more dastardly. And the baby face just got demolished, and yet the hero comes in and helps somehow, right?
And they write John Cena off so he can go back to Hollywood land, and then we see him at WrestleMania or something,
Yeah, that feels right. You got United States champion Rey Mysterio against Mr. Prime energy drink himself, Logan Paul, in a title match.
Yeah. I think this is 100% Logan Paul wins his first world title right here.
Wow.
100% he's going over.
I think you're right. I think Logan, I don't know who, but Logan Paul appeals to somebody that WWE wants to get their product in front of. And I think you're right. I think this is the start of some sort of viral YouTube, put the belt on Logan and let him wear it out.
He carries around to interviews and Prime conferences and commercials.
Yeah, I think he gets out of a Lamborghini, drinking a Prime, wearing the belt kind of thing.
Yep. Can I just say how pervasive, like you talk about in the business, you either want to be the most loved good guy or the most hated heel. And my family was in town yesterday. Big thanks to my mother who bought me that mega pull that got me Zombie Becky. But we're sitting at lunch before they're driving back to Wyoming, and the conversation goes to Prime energy drinks, and both of them just immediately start talking like, I can't stand that Logan Paul, blah, 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 which, on the one hand, it's like, great, we don't like somebody. But on the other hand, that means he's taking up real estate in people's heads that don't have any connection to YouTube. They're not of the generation where they either love him or hate him because of what he's doing with that. They just know about him from his drink empire and his outlandish personality. And he is taking up real estate in their heads. Imagine what he's doing to others. Like that's a good heel.
That's what a heel does. Yeah, a heel makes you hate him. A heel makes you hate him. And if you already hate the guy, put a belt on him. Heels make better champions. Spoiler alert. Heels make way better champions. And that's why you saw Jinder Mahal with the world title for a year, and it like didn't make any sense, but it was perfect.
Don't hinder Jinder.
It was perfect. Next up on the card, we got, I don't know, is this bigger than the women's championship match? We got the other women's championship match in a fatal 5-way, Rhea Ripley defending against Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Zoe Stark, and Raquel Rodriguez, the back flexor.
That's right. I don't see Rhea losing unless there's shenanigans. I think, like Io, Rhea has been presented dominantly in terms of her role in the faction, in terms of her role on Monday Night Raw, but her title defenses have been lackluster. In fact, Becky Lynch very recently tweeted or said in an interview that her run as NXT women's champion, she defended her belt more than Rhea has and Roman has in the last period of time. So
that's why Becky's the greatest WWE superstar of all time, male or female. The greatest.
I'm close. I'm close. She's definitely the best female ever, no question. Ever. You're too quiet. I can't hear. You're not breaking the gate.
I was whispering, "I love you, Becky."
Okay.
Well, now you made me say it loud. That was supposed to be like a subliminal, like a play the track backwards and hear the hidden message kind of moment.
Yeah, like on Weird Al's, if you listen to Weird Al's, he intentionally puts like Nature Trail to Hell. If you listen to that song and play it backwards, it says Satan eats cheese whiz. Anyway,
oh man, yeah,
things you learn.
Yeah,
things you learn. So Becky, oh wait, no, we were talking about that other champion.
We can talk about Becky.
Rhea Ripley. No, I think Rhea Ripley needs a dominant showing. I think this is the shenanigans match. I think this is where Sami Zayn comes out and either costs her the title or screws up the match, but she still wins anyway.
Say again?
Sami Zayn, because of the earlier
for the JD McDonough.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Sammy better not get involved in a women's match. That's
I think Sammy
inappropriate,
versus Rhea
especially in front of a Saudi Arabian audience. That is inappropriate. These women will be dressed head to toe in their race car outfits, modestly. Thank you, Saudi Arabia, for a little modesty. We all need it.
Wow.
Nia.
You're right. I don't think they can do Sammy versus Rhea based on it. But I think Sammy versus Rhea is
he can medal. He can come out and medal. I don't think he's going to get a shot on a woman though.
Right. Or Jade Cargill debuts and they surprise enter her and she wins the title her debut match. I'd be okay with that too.
I think this is going to be a match where Zoe Stark legitimizes herself as a contender, and she's going to have some big spots. She's not going to win. She's going to be the most impressive part of this match. She's going to be the workhorse. I can't see Shayna, Nia, or Raquel doing that. Nope. Rhea will. There's going to be feats of strength. There's going to be impressive. There's going to be domination. There's going to be all that good stuff. But I think Zoe is going to be the one who we walk away going, whoa, she's got it.
Yep.
She's got it.
Yep. Her Z360 move is awesome.
I love it. I really like her a lot. I hope to see her in the game we play as well someday. Who's leaving with this belt?
Rhea, I think it's Rhea.
I have a terrible feeling that it's going to be Nia Jax.
I knew you were going to say it. It's possible. But Triple H is in charge of booking now, supposedly, allegedly.
If they do that, oh my goodness, the tweet storm, the outrage. But again, isn't that what a great heel does? Isn't that what a great heel does? When they win, you want to barf. Isn't that what a great heel does?
It's true. Yeah.
Seth freaking Rollins puts his World Heavyweight Championship up against Drew McIntyre in a match that makes no sense. There's no stakes. It seems like we say this every PLE about the Seth Rollins match. Like, what the heck logic is this? What build was there? What story are they telling? That's why I think this is where Damian cashes in. I think I say that every PLE. This one makes so much sense that Drew would bludgeon Rollins within an inch of his consciousness. Somehow Rollins gets a win, or Drew gets DQ'd or counted out, and then here comes Damian.
Yep, I could see that. So before you started saying, I was like, if this wasn't Drew and the fact that I love him, Seth Rollins is my bathroom break. He and Charlotte Flair, I don't like watching either of them. Their matches are so incredibly boring. Seth is charismatic, and he is probably the best worker in the company. In fact, Wrestle Talk just did their 10 best tables, lists, and chairs of the best Saudi Arabia matches, and Seth was on like half of them at least. Like, he has carried the Saudi Arabia shows apparently. I don't like watching him in general. I get very, very, very bored.
Seth is Roman 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, he needs something, and it's not a heel turn because we've done that. He needs to be in a different place on the card. Like, I very much appreciated him becoming the first ever World Heavyweight Champion, even though it should just be the lineage of the big gold belt. But I did appreciate that. He deserved it. He's a great wrestler. Best choice in wives in the entire company, because his wife is by far better than him in every.
He married a winner. Way. He married up
every possible.
My wife says every marriage there's a settler and a reacher, someone who's lowered their expectations.
Like
and
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, is that a line in How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah,
she probably stole it from that. She must have stole it from that. So Becky settled in Seth reached.
Becky settled, absolutely.
But
here's, now that you've booked it in my head a little bit differently, here's the way I would love to see this happen that would bring intrigue. So absolutely 100% Seth gets knocked out by Drew. And then Damian comes out. He doesn't even try to stop Damian. Drew just stands there. Damian cashes in, and then Drew gets on the mic, not with Tyson Fury to sing songs like The Levee Went Dry.
Oh, that was terrible.
But he does it was me, Austin. I was the mastermind all along, and he is the true leader of the Judgment Day.
What?
That would be interesting. I'd watch that. Yes.
I'm
watching that.
You had me until that twist. I need more time to think through that. I mean, maybe, but I think this is a Drew. This is prime for a Drew heel turn. Drew heel turn is very, it feels imminent and possible.
So our prediction is Damian Priest walks away with the belts.
You think that as well?
I think so. Yeah. Based on your booking convinced me. And now I want Drew McIntyre leading the Judgment Day, and then forget Sammy versus Rhea. Drew takes over the Judgment Day, and her and Rhea battle it out for the world title at WrestleMania.
This is getting weird. I don't know.
This is why I'm not in charge of booking.
Well, man, this is like 10-year-old me in the bathtub with my wrestling men, you know. So we got WWE Crown Jewel. Main event is the undisputed 20-minute intro walk to the ring as slow as possible Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus the newborn baby deer clunky legs LA Knight. So they're going to love this match. Are we going to love
Yes.
this match?
So here's my thing. Like I see Ollie Davis on Wrestle Talk, and I see you talking about how LA Knight just isn't the in-ring performer he could be. The 80s, right? Our the world champion for most of the 80s, Hulk Hogan, was by far not the best wrestler in the company, but he had a level of charisma that was undeniable. And if
Yeah.
you watched SmackDown, the segments where Roman Reigns did his 20-minute walk to the ring and LA Knight's music hits and he literally just walks right by him, does his, yeah, gets up in there and then sat at the head of the table.
So good.
I mean, I
So good.
immediately just went, this was, I mean, LA Knight's had a lot of crowning moments, but right there, that just made me go, oh my gosh, he is the next Steve Austin, period.
I loved
He
it.
is the next Rock. He is the face of the company going forward if they do this right.
I can't believe they let him do that. I can't believe that Roman didn't veto.
Yeah.
LA Knight said, well, you were still doing Suffering Succotash. I mean, like he went
hard.
Dogged Roman doggier than any dog could ever dog you. And it was
great.
Great.
Yes.
How could Roman
promo of the year?
How did Roman let that happen? How did he not creative control veto that? How
well,
I love it. Is this what Triple H is bringing to the table?
I sure hope so. I mean, I don't think, spoiler for prediction, I don't think LA Knight's going to win. Roman's going to retain. It's going to Cody at WrestleMania. But the intrigue level of this has me, like, if they do this right, I'm like, LA Knight deserves that spot. This is his spot. This is his moment. And then maybe LA Knight goes after Damian Priest and takes the world title off of him because Damian doesn't need it for long. Or maybe Cody and LA Knight face each other. I don't know. I don't want to see him turn heel. Like, they've got LA Knight right in that perfect spot where he's the anti-authority Steve Austin kind of. He's not a face, he's not a heel, but he's more the good guy than he is the bad guy. If they can keep that dynamic and start going for the world title next, I'm all for it. I still think he is the top guy in the company.
I don't know how we get beyond this being just a standalone low stakes match. I don't see where this can go other than Solo and Cena continuing their brawl at the ringside, and Cena and Knight, going. They don't get the pin, but they get the win, right? Or like they do the, they're holding hands at the end, kind of Warrior and Hogan, both hands raised. Saudi audience loving it. That's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me is like basically Roman quits or like there's a DQ because Solo spikes Knight in the throat or something like that. It does.
Agreed.
And where's Jimmy and Jay? Are they coming in the ring too? Is this setting up for Survivor Series, right? Where kind of Bloodline versus the mega face faction? Is John Cena going to be the Survivor Series team captain? Are we going to, old fashioned Survivor Series might feel really, really good. I mean, like whatever this Bobby Lashley thing is versus LWO, you really could do a whole card of like 4-on-4 Survivor Series old fashioned rules. You really could. I mean, it's there. It's there.
I love that. That was my favorite time to be a wrestling fan. Royal Rumble and Survivor Series because of that 4-on-4 elimination and the Ultimate Survivor gimmick, which I know is panned now. But when it was Hogan, Tito Santana, and Ultimate Warrior as the Ultimate Survivors, to me as a whatever 8-year-old or whatever I was at that point was like, oh, this is just amazing. But I think you're right. I think that you've booked me into a new reality again, just like you did earlier. And I think the Solo John Cena match ends somewhat undefined, and or Solo squashes John Cena, and then at the end, Solo comes out, tries to cause the finish. John Cena gets involved. One of the two of them, and it doesn't matter who, gets disqualified. And so either Roman or LA Knight win, but it's based off disqualification. And then Cena and Solo clear the ring. Knight doesn't get the belt. He gets the moral victory, but not the real win. And then
Right.
Cena and Knight stand tall at the end. And it's the furthering of his crown. I think John Cena's role right now is to establish LA Knight as the guy. That's what he's doing. And
I
I
could see
think
that.
that's
Yeah.
where we get it. And then the story going into WrestleMania is Knight chasing something. One of the I mean, maybe he's chasing Roman. Maybe for 2 years in a row, Cody gets put on the shelf, and they're just like, thanks, we got better toys to play with right now. But I still think it's Roman versus Cody, and the story gets finished at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's it for our Crown Jewel preview
Yep.
and picks. And I think that's also it for this episode of Champions Chat. Lee, why don't you take us out?
Yep. Well, no matter what faction you're in this game, no matter whether you're a new player or you are a 10 million destroyer, we appreciate you. We care about you. We're thankful to be able to smash gems alongside you. Have an awesome rest of your day.